Good morning. I'm going to be training you on how to make a pour over coffee using our V60 pour over. And we do have a new coffee, Stumptown coffee. It's more creamy and caramel tasting notes on the coffee. We do have a specialty coffee every week that we serve. So make sure that you do a tasting each week for the different coffees, because it will be different and you will want to know how to describe those tasting notes to the customers or guests. You want to make sure that you have a scale and your filters and the V60 and the vessel that you'll be pouring into. As well as you want to make sure that your grinder is set on the right setting, and for the V60 we will be on 16 grind. It's a little bit more finer, not too coarse. And then we also use a gooseneck kettle, and it's an auto temperature, but generally you want to have 200-degree water to give it that proper bloom. So we'll start first by weighing out our beans. We're gonna weigh into a different vessel. And our ratio for 1 cup of coffee, we're going to weigh out 25 grams of beans. So we do 25 grams of beans, and then when we're pouring, we're going to do 400 grams of water. So go ahead and give your beans a grind, and make sure this is empty before you do that, because you don't want to mix coffees and you don't want old coffee going into a fresh drink. So next, get that ready. Make sure it's on the right setting. Go ahead and grind it. And while that's grinding, you can start to heat up your water. Our grinds. One thing that I do want to talk about before we pour over is how to pour the water. So you're going to be starting in the middle and just doing circular motions. Start in the middle and work your way out. So definitely we're going to practice that before you actually pour the coffee, because you want to be comfortable with these motions and not pouring too fast or too slow. You just want a nice steady flow. Okay, so now we'll get our coffee ready. So you'll put that on top of the drink vessel. We'll get your filter. And then you want to make sure that you tare it, put it at 0, so that we make sure that we have 25 grams of coffee going in. And if it's not 25, maybe a little bit stuck. And you can always grind a little bit more if you need to get up to 25. probably a bean stuck in there. But you are welcome to maybe weigh out 25.5 grams so that you can be more efficient at getting that done quickly. And then you're going to tare it out again. And our water is almost done brewing. And you want to turn your timer on as well. So the way that I did that, you can hold it down and just have the weight, and then press it again to have your timer start. And you're just going to hit it once for it to begin. So we'll get that ready. Okay. So everything's tiered out. The gooseneck kettle, the water's ready. Start our timer. And the first one, you're gonna pour between 60 and 70 grams to get a bloom, and that's where the coffee works its magic. So it's bubbling, it's a nice bloom. And you wanna wait 30 seconds for that bloom to happen. It's really opening up the coffee. And then you want to pour at 60 gram intervals over the course of 2 minutes. Go. And you want to try to finish pouring before 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And we are doing 360 grams of coffee, of water. And you just want to keep that swirling and make sure you get the edges, because sometimes it'll stick to the edge. So we have about 60 more grams of water to go. Go. And then we're just gonna let it filter through. And that's 2 minutes and 15 seconds that I finished. And as we see that coming through, you'll notice the bottom is flat, the grounds, and you want that to always be a flat bottom in there. You don't want grounds on the side, because if there's grounds on the side, that means the water is just going straight through and the coffee's not absorbing into the water. So we finished, flat bottom, and there's a nice cup of coffee.